Welcome back to A Faster Me. I'm Carolyn. I'm the preem queen. I always and the preems are cash, so I had to go for the preem.
Hi, welcome to A Faster Me. My name is Jessica Garner. I ride for Go Fast.
And I'm Samantha Nuts, and I ride for Go Fast as well. Hi, my name's Lizzie, and welcome to A Faster Me. I ride for Lagrange.
Hey, I'm Tina Grant. I race for Breakaway Club Lagrange, and welcome to A Faster Me.
Hey, welcome to A Faster Me. My name's Emily, and we're here today at the Ontario Crit, the third one of the series put on by Majestic.
Okay, so this is the Majestic Crit number 3. First time doing it clockwise, and it's kind of interesting. Made the course a little bit different. I mean, we're all familiar with it since we've done it a couple times already this year, but just a little bit different angles and a little bit different grade. How did you like it compared to the other direction?
I liked it. I thought I'd feel maybe a bigger difference, but it really just feels like you're out there riding your bike regardless of the way that you're going. It didn't feel significantly different as I don't know if I just kind of get in my own head and I thought it'd be a little bit more significant, but really it wasn't.
Yeah, it's so far it's been a pretty good year so far for the women's races. I think every race you've been in had at least 20 people, I believe. Maybe slightly under 20, but usually there's somewhere around 20, 25 people, and I think that's a great turnout. You know, the ladies have been showing up for every race, you know, pretty much no matter where it's been so far. So that's definitely good to see, and you can see right off the bat here, you guys are kind of picking up the pace a little bit on this first lap.
Yeah, the pace was pretty fast the whole race, and it seemed a lot smoother. Going around the corners, there seemed to be a little bit less slowing down and a little bit less surging. I thought I drafted a whole lot better this race, and maybe I did comparatively, but I know watching it, I'm still not finding quite the right lines, and I'm not as close behind people as I, should be to get the best draft.
Yeah, maximum draft or maximum benefit. Yeah, I mean, it'll come in time. Honestly, it's just each race is kind of different. It's almost like playing golf. Like you can play the same golf course over and over, and it's like a new round every time, and there's different circumstances. So, some races you feel good and you feel confident, and others you just don't. And, it depends on what's going on, like, in between your ears a little bit. But, another good thing is there's a couple new people that are in this race. I know Lizzie from Velo Club Lagrange, this is her first race. And also I see a couple kits out there that I've never seen before. I'm not sure who the ladies are, but I believe there's 2 other kits that I've never seen before. So, if they end up finding this video, welcome to, welcome to the race scene, and hopefully you had a good time.
And I would like to just put it out there also, got a few more interviews this time, so stay tuned. You'll get to see a little bit full interviews of a few people, and if anyone who's watching is interested, just find me. I'd love to just kind of have everyone's voice and perspective. So if you're interested in, sharing your thoughts on the race, like I said, just come find us. I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, and also you got 2 teammates in the race right in front of you here. You got Carolyn Carter, the preem queen, as she calls herself, and as the announcer does, and you got Emily DeJong that's right in front of Carolyn here. So,
yeah, our only plan, which I always have good ideas and am not able thus far to execute some of my good ideas, but we had kind of planned if we were in good position, feeling good, and thought we could maybe do a breakaway, that Carolyn and I would try to get up the road and Emily would run interference and do some chasing down, but the pace was really pretty fast, and I was not in good position at the end of the race to make that happen. So
yeah, the only thing I would say too about running the course this way is, in general it's pretty similar, but it's pretty beat up. The lines that you're kind of forced to take going this direction, you end up running across a lot of beat up pavement, And when we go the other direction, we're, slightly outside of it or slightly inside of it. And, that caused a little damage to people this week, myself included. But I think we've had a couple pop tires over some of the potholes and things like that. And I believe later in the race you have an incident too over one of the cracks in the road that is really uneven surface. So yeah, that's a little unfortunate. But other than that, I think the racing this weekend was great, and it may even be slightly safer just because there weren't really any crashes in any of the races that I could remember.
Yeah, the incident you're talking about, which I'm sure we'll catch, was I thought somebody bumped my back tire just because it significantly skipped out and it felt like a pretty strong bump. But from a few perspectives behind us, it seemed that maybe I just hit something and my tire skipped out, but it's a little scary, kind of unnerved me. So
yeah. All right, so let's get into some positioning and race tactics and things like that if we can. Here you're doing a pretty good job. The only thing I really noticed is just in the wind a little bit too much. And as people get better at racing and the pace starts picking up and everyone gets a little more comfortable, it just forces you to use a lot of energy. I mean, our race was much faster than your race, but you almost used the same amount of power I did in my race. And yeah, you definitely can, do a better job of tucking in and just, saving some of that energy for later, for the last couple laps or whatever the case may be, depending on your plan, of course.
yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be it seems like a never-ending work in progress for me. I'm still just not quite as comfortable being so close behind someone, still trying to navigate how to get in if I've moved up or how to follow a wheel. So it seems like I'm pretty good at going to the front and getting off the back. So I still have to be comfortable, falling in the middle of the peloton.
Yeah, and those are good things to practice and get comfortable doing, moving up, moving down. And I understand, you have some confidence in doing that. However, if you look at the amount of watts you're using, like even right now, I mean, if I do that in my race, I'm going to blow up. And even though you're being able to latch back on right now, that's not going to be the case in the future. And as you move up or as the races get faster, that's just picking up bad habits. Mm-hmm. So you want to, everyone has to use their own energy at some time, but majority of the time that you want to change position, you want to use other people's energy if you can, unless you're trying some attack off the front or something.
Yeah, I think I'm just wanting good workouts out there, so I'm getting them.
Yeah, there's definitely some interval training going on, but yeah, if you look at the group, they're pretty tight, and you're lagging back about 5-10 yards sometimes, and it's not the worst in the world, but yeah, you're using more energy than you think. Just like the Lagrange lady in front of you here, that's riding off to the left a little bit. Yeah, it's going to take time to get comfortable with people, and obviously, if you're not really comfortable doing it, then the first thing is being safe. And if being safe means stepping out of line a little bit, then that's what you got to do until you get to that comfort level.
Yeah, I could hear you telling me to get in the draft every time I came around the start-finish line.
Yeah, that's what husbands are for. It's like, got to nag you somehow, So your spouse will always nag you, trust me. But I think the thing too, like this might be a little controversial. Some of the ladies may not like me saying this, and that's fine because I'm not in your race. But you guys are like one big happy family, and that's great. It's good to see. But I think sometimes you can be lulled into riding someone else's race just from being friendly, and that's great. It's good to be friendly. It's good to sometime work together. But, in the long run, making the race comfortable for others is not going to work out in your favor. And I don't mean you as an individual, but just like as your team and things like that. some people come to race and they have a plan, and then they're going to try to they're going to try to dictate that race or that plan and make it comfortable, if it's either attacking or slowing down the pace, whatever it is. And I think sometimes everyone's just so happy to go along with that instead of trying something on their own, or picking up the pace, or punishing someone after they attack and their attack doesn't work. Everyone's okay with just slowing down instead of making them pay for that attack and going off the front right after you catch them.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are still just trying to figure out maybe what we're good at, what we're capable of, how to maybe even compete or be in contention at the end. I think a lot of us are just, it's called novice for a reason. I know some people are, we have Cat 4s and Cat 3s in this race, but a lot of us don't have a ton of experience, so I think we're still figuring out some of the team tactics, those of us that are on teams, and, got a lot to learn.
No, I definitely agree. I just think, I have that problem too sometimes, is that we ride as if we're in a group ride, instead of riding as if we're trying to win the race. So, yeah, it's just something to practice. It's just something to think about. And it happened in my race too. Not only that, one thing, Majestic hosted these races, so I'll give them a shout out in the Cat 4 category. A lot of people came off the Cat 4 race saying, yelling, they were mad about Majestic. Majestic had 6 guys on the front and they were slowing the pace down. They weren't doing nothing but slowing the pace down, and they were winning the race, and they won the race. So, yeah, that's the only thing I'm saying is, don't be so concerned about what other people are doing, and kind of focus on what gives you the best chance to have a solid finish, you and your team.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I feel like, well, at least I'll speak for myself, I still don't know exactly what that is, so, but it definitely is good being out here. I think pretty soon, not sure what lap we're on here, but we will do a little tack off the front.
Yeah, I think that's coming up in the future, and just here, just so a point, I say it to the guys, and I've said it to myself, so I got to say it to my wife. When that was like a super tight line for you to come up the inside there, and I know you announced, that you're inside, but honestly, that's not like the best or safest move to do, because if you have to shout that you're coming on the inside, that means you're late, you're behind the person, you're on a tight line, and at some point, someone's going to cut across your wheel because you're too late. And it's your responsibility to either get there first and you won't have to say anything, or to back off when you're coming in a little too tight. And, in our lower categories, we're all in that habit of saying inside, but technically you shouldn't have to yell inside unless you're behind dive, bobbing, and turn. And if that's the case, then you probably need to slow down, or you have to make sure that you can turn that tight angle and make that, make that line that you're kind of representing there.
Yeah, and I think this is where I don't want to maybe practice bad habits, because the pace that we're at, I'm able to make that turn, but as the, pace picks up and people get more comfortable, the lines will get a little bit tighter, and that's probably not something I need to be doing. It seems like in most of these races, the women haven't taken very tight turns, and it's been at a pace that's very comfortable. But I definitely know what you're saying of not kind of practicing bad habits when things get a little bit more competitive or a little bit tighter.
Right, and the problem that it creates is the person that you're coming inside on, they're not always able to give you room because there's someone on the outside of them as well. And if they've already initiated their turn in, then that's the line they need to hold. They can't now adjust and move out because there's another rider to their outside. Mm-hmm. So, once again, it looks like you guys have picked up the pace. I don't know if this is a preem lap or not, but you guys have picked up the pace. And here you're floating to the outside a little bit, and it's not bad if you're trying to move up. And yeah, I think this was a preem lap because it looks like there's some nice little sprints going on here. But yeah, it's not bad to move up, you know, anytime you can. But just with your threshold, and you're kind of doing over 300 watts there for a while, still at hovering around 300, just, you know, tuck in a little bit better, and you can save a good 70, 80 watts, you know.
And I'm sure all these little in the wind moments play a toll at the end of the race, because
Yeah.
I don't have much of a effort left to give towards the end, and I just seem to, you know, have used it all, even though it feels okay during the race.
Of course. Yeah, of course. We all feel good in the first 10 minutes or whatever. You know, after we catch our win there, we all feel pretty good. But yeah, you should have been tucked in kind of behind Summer right there. Yeah, you should have been tucked in behind her, and you'd be up another 10 yards right now. And see, here you make your move, but if you look, you're using power to do it. It's another big, you know, 300 plus watt surge. And yeah, they just get taxing. It's, you know, it's kind of like a sprint section. So here you're in another good position. You're riding behind Jessica here, and yeah, just tuck in, you know, in the future, just tuck in right here, and unless you have a plan, obviously, but just tuck in and save a little energy for a while, kind of recover, and, you know, go on about your business.
Yeah, I did try to stay behind Jessica here. I know she's a strong rider, pretty good wheel to follow, so I, you know, was kind of behind her, and later learned that she had a little tire mishap, so she was a little bit not in the position she quite wanted to be, but she did a good job of moving up and getting over and tucking in right there.
Yeah, and that's what it makes it hard sometimes like that, because you're following, and then once they move over and tuck into a good position, sometimes it leaves you out in the wind. But, you know, that's just something like you can try to slide in whenever you get a chance. So yeah, this might be where you kind of make your move off the front with, you know, you and Carolyn. But yeah, it's just, again here, just tuck in, try not to eat so much wind. I think Lagrange did a really good job. I know Tina was one of the riders out there, kind of, you know, keeping things steady, and just I don't know what the word is, but
mentoring.
Yeah, kind of mentoring
so.
a little bit, but.
And I know that was her goal of just trying to kind of mentor some of her younger riders or newer riders, and she offered some guidance just to everybody out there. So I think, you know, she did a good job just kind of trying to help some of us out there.
Exactly. And it looks like maybe a Lagrange lady's going off the front right now, and then a couple teammates might be chasing her down here. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that was intentional then or not, if someone was trying to get away, or if it was just momentum carried them up to the front. I'm not sure. Unless Lagrange is coming to run interference, I'm not sure. But there goes Carolyn off the front to run it down, and I believe you kind of chase.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking, but I thought if we could get up there and possibly work together, we might have a chance, two of us teammates. So it wasn't quite in the plan, but here I go, putting in a little bigger effort than I wanted to, because I have a little bit slower reaction than, you know, maybe is optimal.
But you know what? That's how you learn. I mean, at that point, you're a little out of position since you're so far away from Carolyn when she took off. But yeah, there's no problem with that. I mean, you're racing your bike right now, and that's how you learn to race your bike and how you become a better racer. You have to do these moves sometimes.
Yeah, so I was able to catch, and Carolyn gave a little flick of her elbow here in a second, and I'm thinking if the three of us can work together, we may have a pretty good shot at a breakaway. So I do a pull for a time. I do look down at my power, and I am doing over my threshold and know that I can't sustain that for a significant period of time. And so I think I flick my elbow after not too long, and nobody comes around me. So I just back it off, because I'm not going to do a sustained effort out on my own, because I definitely don't have that kind of power. So this was a I actually looked down and knew what I was doing, and when I looked back after backing off, we were all together again. So
Yeah, so if the peloton's back, yeah, there's no reason to keep going. You'd just be pulling the whole peloton. So that's Jade up there. She won the Cat 4-5 portion of this race, or group of this race, and I talked to her a little bit after the race about cadence and things like that, but it looked like she had a good cadence. Like the couple times that I've seen her out here, it's been nice and smooth.
yeah, I'm real impressed with her. This is, probably maybe her 4th, 5th race, not exactly sure, but she is definitely a competitor and has found a way to win and be in contention in most of these races. So I think, great job to her for, jumping in and giving it her all.
Yeah, no, we gotta definitely applaud all the ladies in the race, just like we did in our race. Like just seeing the growth of people from the very first race in Ontario. Started off like pretty passive, pretty slow. It was a 3, 4, 5 race as well, but like compared to this race, that race was incredibly slow. And then we had a couple weeks where things got a little sketch and there was some bumping and crashes and things like that. And now you guys are all pretty much running a couple mile per hour faster on average, and it's even safer, so you're going faster, you're riding safer, riding smarter, and you're able to try new things and not worry about popping if you go out on the front. So I think you guys have been doing a great job. All of the ladies have.
Yeah, it seems just crazy from a year ago when we first got out there, just how small the women's races were. I mean, I think we watched one race that had, I don't know, just a handful of people in it, and unfortunately the higher category race this time didn't have too many women in it, so that's a little unfortunate because it's nice to see, larger showings.
Yeah, well, there's 2 things working against it this week, and one is Father's Day, and 2, there's so many big races around the country right now, so a lot of the pro women have been traveling these last few weeks and have just scattered across the country. So there was, pro nationals, there's amateur nationals coming up, and then there's some other, there was Tulsa Tough also, and then there's some other big races that are across the country. I want to say it's Dairyland. Another thing we'd like to give a shout out to is Pat from Go Fast. He's been running the women's crit on Thursday nights out in Laverne, and I think that's an excellent place for people to go and learn in a safe environment, pick up some bike handling skills, and just practice with other women that race as well or that aspire to race.
Yeah, it's been great. We even had a yoga instructor out this past week and did something a little bit different to increase flexibility, and so that was something that really was a highlight for my past week. Something a little different.
Yeah, it looks like you guys have settled down a little bit now and dropped down into close to 20 miles per hour. Give a shout out here to Summer, also right here on the orange bike. I met her this weekend, and I'm not sure if that was her dad I was talking to her with, but yeah, we had a nice conversation, and it's just good to network and expand and meet new people. And I've never seen this team here, the young lady 596. I don't think I've ever seen her in the race or that kit. And I believe there's another lady with a similar kit in the race as well, but I don't think I've seen them out this year. Yeah, also the Sisterhood of Cycling Girls, I think they did a great job. I'm not sure if one of them won the race.
I think so.
Yeah, I had predicted, I don't know any of their names, but I predicted one of them that was going to win because they were just chilling in the back, like most of the day, quiet, staying out of trouble, just kind of minding their own business. And one of our teammates, I was talking to Jeanette, one of our teammates, and I told her, I said, yeah, I think that girl's probably going to win it, and with a sprint at the end. I said, I believe I've seen her win before, and she kind of chills in the back, low profile, saving that energy. And last lap, she unleashes that big sprint and comes across the line.
Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna try to be there.
Yeah, you and me both. I was actually there on this day, but yeah, we won't talk about that. I did enough in my own, talking on my own video, so.
Well, I'm glad I have you here to talk in mine because yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and just for the record too, it's kind of like the theme of our channel or whatever is we kind of like it raw. We put out most of the time the entire race. I know people's attention spans are pretty short a lot of time, but you know, we don't really do this for entertainment or to get, you know, 10,000 subscribers or anything like that. We really want to show and give people the opportunity to see themselves race, to see how they can improve, see what they did right and wrong, and just to see it from a different perspective, because sometimes you may think you're attacking and you're just pulling the peloton. Sometimes you think you're out front and you don't even realize you got a gap and you maybe should have went harder, you know. So this is basically educational, not only for us, but for whoever looks at it and can get anything from it. So for the most part, we're probably we'll continue to post the entire race. If there's like really dead spots or whatever, then we'll probably condense it or edit it and shorten it a little bit. But yeah, just so you know, that's the goal. It's not entertainment based. Basically, it's educational.
And here I find myself next to Emily and try to ride with her for a bit. I think in my head I'm riding closer and in the draft, and I see here I'm really just riding out kind of by myself.
Yeah. Again, I didn't want to slow anything down, but I saw that spot in the road. There's like a rock in the road and then a huge crack that has the surface uneven, and that's the spot that's going to cause you a problem like later in the race. And there's Emily doing what she does, you know, really well, is following an attack up the left side there. She's tucked in nicely on the Lagrange wheel and saved a lot of energy and basically made up 10 plus places right there. And that's basically how you move up. If someone decides to go to the front, jump on their wheel and you know, use their energy.
Yeah, I think my lack of group riding is evident in the races. I have not done a lot of group riding, and usually we're out training just a couple people. I'm good at suffering and putting in hard efforts, but still a little bit less familiar with riding in larger groups.
That's gonna change.
Yeah. I know it's a little bit conflicting for me because I definitely want to improve and get better, but some of what I really enjoy about riding is just being out kind of in nature and some of the solo, you know, kind of struggle and solitude that riding brings. So, you know, some of what is fun to me is not really...
Almost had a little collision there.
So it's a little conflicting, but definitely want to improve, and so I'm committed to, you know, racing and getting better for at least a little bit of time.
Yeah, for sure. That's everyone's. I mean, if you're out there, you're already taking that step. So you've been going also, I believe, twice now to the Go Fast practice crit or the women's practice crit. So yeah, I mean, you're already on. Oh, there goes that moment where your tire skidded out. But if you saw, there's a huge crack in the road, and I believe it was just the lean angle, and you just hit it perfectly.
Yeah, it definitely unnerved me because wasn't feeling bad. It really felt like something took my back tire out. I thought those bump drills had really helped. But from a few other perspectives, it seemed like there was something in the road. But unfortunately, it's a preem, and then it's the last lap, and I just allowed that to kind of bother me, and so I was just in the wind kind of trying to move up, but on the outside, and was just a little bit off.
Yeah. Well, honestly, you know, in your defense, there was a crash like 2 weeks ago. Then you're dealing with, you know, loss in Marietta, and now this race. So, you know, when you get out of, you know, you have that momentum and you lose a little momentum of, you know, your learning curve, sometimes you need to reset and get that confidence back and then get back into it. So yeah, that's all this is you're down on confidence a little bit, and once you get the confidence back, you'll be back in the mix again. You're definitely strong enough, way strong enough. Like the amount of power and stuff you do, like I said, it's close to what I do, and we're like 4 miles per hour faster than you guys in this same race on average, and you almost average the same power I did.
I know it's, what do they say? You want to ride smarter, not harder?
Exactly.
I'm good at riding harder and not quite as smart. But no, it definitely has been a rough couple weeks. Just work has been fatiguing, and just legs have not felt race ready, which, I can know in my head that that's mental and you've done the training and physically you're able, but when you're not right, kind of in your mind, it does something for you as well.
Well, not to mention all stress counts. All stress adds a little bit of fatigue. So here we go, coming into the last couple corners, and obviously the pace is hot. You guys are pretty much flying here. And you do give a great effort. You give a great effort just to get back onto the end here. Yeah, you're kind of staying wide and stuff like that, but this is a pretty long sprint. It's not like your highest watts and you're going over all this madness, and you're going over the killing fields here. This is where bikes go to die, but you're definitely giving a good effort, and it's a very long sprint that you put in, probably a good 40-second sprint or something.
Yeah, I was really trying to, move up, but just way out. So yeah, that's the race.
All right, well, enjoy the post-race interviews, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to A Faster Me. I'm Carolyn. We're at the Majestic Crit. Today it was 5 corners, and it was the reverse of the, got distracted by it's the reverse of the first time we did the crit. But it went really well. It's really hot today, but I think the race went really well. The LaGrange team showed up with a lot of girls and made the pace pretty quick. It was a lot of fun today. There were preems, and I'm the preem queen. I always, and the preems are cash, so I had to go for the preems, but it was good. I think one of the preems was the second to last lap, so I think I tired myself out a little bit for the last lap, but it was fun. I thought it went well. Girls were strong, wasn't super sketchy or anything, and I think PAA, we all kind of hung together and did really well, so yeah.
And where did you finish?
I finished fifth overall, and then third for 4.5s, and I got the preems here, so that's exciting. I'm excited. It's a good day.
Hey, welcome to A Faster Me. My name's Emily, and we're here today at the Ontario Crit, the third one of the series put on by Majestic. I just raced the Cat 4-5 women's race today along with teammates Ellen and Carolyn. We had a pretty good showing. There were 2 preems thrown into the mix that kind of mixed things up a little bit. Carolyn and I went for the first one slightly together. The second one was 2 laps from the finish, so I decided to hang back. Throughout the race, I thought it was a much stronger showing than the previous women's races I've been in, mostly because there were a lot more experienced riders, and it was a faster pace set by some of the bigger teams like LaGrange and InCycle that were out here. Final lap to go, I was feeling pretty good, but in a sprint I was about 10 back and ended up coming in 7th overall. I think 4th among the Cat 4-5 because there were a few Cat 3s thrown in there. And so all in all, I'm pretty happy with how the race went. Again, it was a lot faster, a lot more energy on the course today, and so I had a great time.
Hi, welcome to A Faster Me. My name is Jessica Garner. I ride for Go Fast.
And I'm Samantha Nuts, and I ride for Go Fast as well.
We had a pretty good race today. We worked really well together as a team. Unfortunately, I hit a rock about midway through, and I was thinking, oh crap, do I have a flat? But then I was fine for a couple laps, so I was like, maybe I'm alright, maybe I'm alright. But then, tapped my brakes a little bit on the corners, and sketchy, dude. But I held up. I didn't know it was a flat. I should have known better. I should have, stopped, got a mechanical, taken a lap to not put myself or others in danger. But, I just decided to, mean, I stayed in the race and took the corners out really wide and practiced my handling skills today. And I mean, bummer. I mean, came in 12th, but yeah, that was my experience today.
Mine was pretty good. It felt like initially we were hanging really well together. The flow of the pack was really good. The movement was smooth. Girls were taking the lines really well. We're definitely, I think, just all together learning how to really take our corners smoothly. Kind of working cohesively together. We're communicating, which is just really helping make it a safer race. So we're keeping rubber side down. But overall, as a team, I felt like we were moving really well together. We were making sure we were keeping contact with each other, keeping each other eyesight one way or another.
Even between teams too, you know, like
The teams out there were
on the
great.
inside, you know, like
Lagrange, PAA, Sisterhood Cycling. Everyone out there was just absolutely phenomenal. We were all really working well together, and everyone was really staying in the packs and in their teams. And it was overall a really good race.
after racing the Cat 3s today, it did
Yeah,
mine. So,
yeah, the Cat 3 girls were keeping, yeah.
cheers.
Hi, my name's Lizzie, and welcome to a Faster Me. I ride for Lagrange. This is my first race today. It went really well. I thought everyone rode really safe. It was really fun. It was fast, and I'll definitely be doing another one.
Hey, I'm Tina Grant. I race for Bello Club Lagrange, and welcome to a Faster Me.
So, what did you think of the race today?
Oh, it was so much fun. We had a really good crew of like the Cat 3, 4, 5 women. I think we had about 3 or 4 Cat 3s to work with the 4 or 5 women, and everybody just was like working together, keeping the pace high and safe. What was nice is that I saw a lot of the Cat 3s take the initiative to show the other girls, you know, this is sort of the safer line, or, you know, okay, let's rotate off. And I saw a lot of mentorship, which was really, really nice. And I saw people giving and receiving information really well. So it was a great race, yeah.